Yeah, I think so. I think what was certainly mapped out at the start with the advertising of the Resicert as a franchise or being a franchisee is quite clear. There's a lot of clarity around what to expect, how things should look like when you're starting, going in for your first year, but also what it should look like once established. So that gave some clarity as to what I should expect beyond doing the numbers, I guess, as a sense around a business with having the right KPIs to meet. So for me, I think in general sense, the expectation is certainly met. Yes, I've done over 200 inspections up to my seventh month, which is this week. So yeah, it's going well. And I had a target of mine by the end of the year, and that puts me nicely on track for that. So yeah, quite happy with that. I think part of the success around that is for myself buying into an existing or part existing DMR, which has been a super help, right, initially, just to get going, just to get some work and provide some consistency around the initial stages. And then it's helped me to accelerate further throughout the months. The training, it was comprehensive. There was a lot involved with the training. So there's quite a lot of information to take on board at the start. You go from the theoretical and behind your laptop, I guess, so online, then move into more the physical training on site, the buddy system, I guess. And that's when pennies start to drop a little bit. And then when you apply that into, I guess, the probation side of things, where you're doing your critical area checks, etc., that's when you really start to understand why you need all that learning initially, because that's the information that you will be communicating to clients. Yeah, I've been in, I guess, corporate space for a number of years, manufacturing for 20 plus years, multiple roles through my previous organization that I was employed with, and high level projects, significant amount of staff to try and work successful projects together with. I just had a lot going on. And I always had a passion, I call it a side hustle around renovating properties, buying, selling. I just had that aspect of property. And I just saw this as an opportunity to change gear. Yeah, there's quite a few wins there, to be honest, from a satisfaction point of view. It's hard to label one, so I'll probably give a couple. First up is the trust around the referring agents that I have and the ability to build on that trust and have more referring agents come in over time. And the satisfying part is the trust that's coming out of all of that. So they're starting to know my name, they're starting to see me around, they trust in referring. These agents aren't silly, they know what they're doing, and they want to be working with the best because they want their process to be seamless and professional as well. So that's been satisfactory for me in terms of the new agents that I've got referring and the ones that I brought into have stayed around. The other satisfactory part is just working with clients and being able to provide information that they don't have the skills to do themselves, but they trust in a Resicert, myself, to go and do a good job, to go get the information that they don't know how to obtain, and to put it in such a way where it can be communicated back to them so they now do understand what really they weren't able to obtain themselves. So that's really how I like to help people, and I like to see that is helping them. So yeah, I get a little bit of positivity bump from that each time. I'm new to it, so I'm learning myself what is your role. And obviously, coming from a large corporation where there's a lot of money to support infrastructure in the back office, I have an expectation of certain things. So for example, IT, right? I expect it to be done for me, whereas now I need to go and figure out some of this myself. But then in other times when I reach out, these challenges or whatever I'm faced with are getting resolved as well. Overall, it's been great when I get the response that I need. I think you got to have a passion for doing something like this. If you're looking just to make it, it's a quick win, and you think you're just going to come into something that's just going to be a given, that's not going to be the right recipe for success. So I think then you need to create the space with having a mindset change. If you're not used to this industry, so my background come not so much in the real estate building sector, as opposed to others that might have that already. So if you're in that space, you certainly got to have an attitude to make things happen. Yeah, make sure you create some space early on to learn, and the rest will come later on. The pennies will fall into place, and you'll get going and it'll be successful.